Hey everybody, welcome to the first ever Road to 1000 Dueling Book rating. Today we're going to be taking a look, and I played the Lunalight deck. This is Kali Yuga Turbo, so let's get right into it. I'm going to fast forward it and then pause when I need to. So with our opening hand, it looks like we drew a copy of Call by the Grave, Yellow Martin, Serenade Dance Tiger, and the Rank Up Magic. Unfortunately, this is a brick, so we just looks like that we're gonna set the Call by the Grave and pass our turn over. They're gonna start off with Charge of the Light Brigade to search for Raiden. So this is against a Lightsworn deck. They milled the Galaxy Cyclone. One second, this is going a bit fast. So they milled the Galaxy Cyclone and Necrogardna off of the charge, so they do have a battle protection here. And it looks like they also have 2 copies of Galaxy Cyclone they can use on, like my Tiger or something like that. And then Electromagnetic Turtle, which can negate the battle phase as well. Fortunately, I do happen to have a Call by the Grave, but I ended up drawing the Foolish Burial Goods for turn, which sets up my whole play because I can use Perfume, and discard the Serenade Dance to search for, I believe that was Kaleido Chick there. And so now we can use Kaleido Chick to send the Martin. Tiger switches back the Martin. Serenade Dance pitching the Martin to special Kaleido from the deck to send E-Bird as well. We can overlay into a Utopia, and then search the Double or Nothing, and just overlay into Utopia. He ended up just scooping here and leaving the game, so that's kind of interesting. He did happen to have the Electromagnetic Turtle and the Necrogardna as well, but we could play around it by banishing the Call by the Grave to banishing the Turtle, and then attacking into the monster. And then if he uses the Necrogardna to negate the next attack, we can go ahead and use our Double or Nothing to attack again. So we did have a game either way in this case, but he ended up just scooping, which was just a little bit odd to me, but whatever. Moving on to our next game. I believe I win the die roll as well, if I am not mistaken. I'm not sure. Let's see. Yeah, it looks like I won the die roll. So Tenki is going to go ahead and grab us Kaleido Chick here. I'm going to fast forward over. Actually, I'm just going to play. So Kaleido Chick sends Martin. Perfume specials the Martin back. We're going to overlay into our copy of 4 Strix. So basically the combo for this, I don't think I can... Yeah, I can look at my extra deck. The combo for this is to make Kali Yuga on the opponent's turn. The end board, the end goal, is to have Appaloosa with 2 negates as well as Kali Yuga on the field. For now, that's the end board. When this new set comes out, you can actually end up with the negate, which is pretty good. But in this case, okay, so we make the 4 Strix and search for Zephyros. Then we can use, Mothman hits our Zephyros, specialing it, draw a card, and then send that. This is a little fast for me. And then we use the Mothman, the 4 Strix, and I believe the Kaleido Chick for a copy of Curious, which just sends Silent Boots to the graveyard. Boots' effect mandatory mill 3 cards, so it looks like I did mill the Double or Nothing, which is a brick that I need to have in the deck. So we use the Boots to search for the Rank Up Magic launch. Fortunately, I do have a way that I can play around this. So if I use the Martin to special back the Tiger, add back Tiger, I can rescale the Tiger to summon back Kaleido, and then we can use them into Utopia Double. So this is the combo right here. You pretty much just need Curious to get to the Boots, and then to make a rank 4 after that, making Utopia Double. I detached the wrong material here. It doesn't really matter in the long run, but you do want to detach the Kaleido Chick if you don't have the trap in circulation, and you'll see why in a second. It's just, it gives you an extra body, or an extra card in hand for later. So then you're going to use the Utopia Double, detach, add the Double or Nothing, and then overlay Utopia Kaiser. This is permanently at 5,000 attack points, which is pretty crazy. And then you can use Kaiser's effect to summon Big Eye from your extra deck. And then you can go ahead and, since it was detached as an effect and not as cost, you can use Martin's effect to add the trap. So it just gives you an extra card in hand for no reason. If you leave the Martin attached to your Kaiser, and if you already haven't used your Serenade Dance, so you have it for the next turn. You could also use it like I did here and set it face down so you're playing around Cosmic Cyclone, because if they Cosmic Cyclone you here, they have a 50% chance of hitting the right card in the standby phase, which is pretty cool. So he goes ahead and activates Super Agent. I say that's okay, and I mill the perfume. He called a monster, so it doesn't work. On the resolution, I just play Kali Yuga, and he scoops. So that's it for the Spiral. They just ended up scooping like 2 games in a row against the Lights one and the Spiral player, and yeah, it's pretty interesting. It's worth mentioning here, I did have a couple games where my internet was just having an issue, and then I ended up disconnecting like 3 or 4 times in a row, and I only got to play like a minute of them, so they do count as losses. But right here, I do have 142 rating after those 2 duels and a couple of losses due to, miscellaneous disconnects. Anyways, so we're going to go Foolish Burial, send the Martin. Martin's effect is going to add a Serenade Dance. And then we're going to normal our E-Bird and send our Serenade Dance. And then we can go ahead and use Foolish Burial Goods to send Perfume, and Perfume discarding the Tsukunoko to add Tiger. So I believe we do have full combo here, but it's a little bit awkward. We still can work with it though, because we can go ahead and scale our Tiger to summon back our Martin, and then we can use them for Force Strikes. He doesn't have any hand traps, he just has a Desires Avarice, Buster Drake, Foolish Burial, and the support armor. So it looks like we're playing against APCs. Anyways, so we search out for Zephyros, and then we can use Serenade Dance, discarding Zephyros to special Kaleido from deck. Then we can use our Kaleido to send another Martin, and then we can use all 3 into a Curious. So we do send the Boots here. I believe we do we use Boots to search the Rank of Magic. Then I do believe that we actually make Daigusto Emerald, if I do remember correctly. So we use the Martin to bounce back the Tiger. We scale the Tiger, and we can go ahead and summon back E-Bird. Then we can use Zephyros effect, summoning it back itself. And we can also use Kaleido, or Tiger, to summon the Kaleido. Then we make Daigusto Emerald, and right here he's targeting our monsters for no reason. Yeah, so we use our Emerald to draw some cards, and then we use the Emerald into an Appaloosa with 2 negates, and then we make the double. And so we do play 2 copies of Double or Nothing, so we actually do search out the second copy here. It is like a actual brick in your deck, so you need to play 2. The Rank of Magic launch, if you draw it, it's actually better, because all you need for it is 2 Link Arrows, as well as 2 Link Arrows and any way to make a rank 4. And so it's a lot easier. So anyways, in this case, we just Utopia Kaiser, detach the E-Bird, because we already have the Serenade Dance in circulation. It's important to worth noting that we can activate the Emerald Birds effect here, because it does special summon a Lunalight monster in defense position, but Utopia Kaiser locks us out. It says for the rest of the turn, you cannot special summon, and any battle damage your opponent takes becomes halved. That effect doesn't really matter, because we're just going to be summoning Big Eye and pass, and we already have the Appaloosa on board. So we do set the 3 cards in the back row, and then we pass it to our opponent. He activates a copy of Desires, which we go ahead and hit him with a Rank of Magic launch, making Kali Yuga. He scoops, and then he leaves, so that's interesting as well. Looks like his other opening hand didn't seem to be too bad. I think he scooped because his hand was bad. He couldn't really do anything with this for some reason, I think, which I think you can make like Cyber Dragon Infinity or whatever. But for some reason he just scoops. I don't know, something like that. Anyways, going on to our next game. So I believe that I do lose the die roll here. And I think this is against like a Herald deck. And I think I could have played better against this deck. He did activate Extravagance, and I was expecting to be playing against Guru. But he ended up using Ritual Sanctuary, discarding the Machine Angel Ritual. And he searched out Dawn of the Herald. He uses the Dawn of Herald to tribute Benton, summoning Herald, and then Chain 1, Chain 2. So his Dawn's going to add it back Benton, and Benton's going to add Eva. Then I believe, oh yeah, so he searches for Natasha and then add back the Machine Angel Ritual. So right now he does have 4 negates, but it's actually 6. Because, so I think what I could have done is I could have normaled Greffer and then pitched a Danger, and that would have hit 2 negates. But I don't think there was actually a way of me to win this because I Foolish Burial, he negated it. And then I use Tsukunoko, and he negates that as well, which is actually kind of surprising. And then I use Jackalope, which he also negates, which I probably shouldn't have done. I probably should have normaled Greffer and did that. And then he uses Eva's effect, which lets him banish, 2 other light fairy monsters, and then he can search for 2 more. So he searches for another angel as well as Cyber Egg Angel, which is crazy because now he has 3 negates. So he did have a negate every card in my hand, which was actually probably the point of his deck, which is, it's absolutely crazy. 6 negates. So I go first. Looks like he draws no hand traps. And so I set Tenki, activate Tsukunoko. He randomly hits double or nothing out of my hand, which is okay because I do play a second copy. I use eBird to search for send Martin, and then I add Serenade Dance. So the problem here, if you can't tell already, is that I don't have a way to discard boots currently in my hand. There's no way for me to do that because I hard drew boots, which is kind of annoying. But what you can do, like I do here I believe, is I make Barricade Board Blocker, which is going to discard Serenade Dance, and Serenade Dance is going to discard the boots to special Kaleido. Then I can use Kaleido's effect to summon Martin, special it back with Tiger, or no, Martin's own effect to send back the Tiger to my hand, and then we can make Utopia double because we already have the Link Arrows for it. Next we can turn everything into a Appaloosa with 3 negates. We can add a double or nothing from our deck to the hand. We can summon Utopia Kaiser and then use its effect to summon Big Eye. And then Boots can add our Rank Up Magic. Next we can set the Rank Up Magic, pass our turn. I believe he activates Terraforming, which we hit with the Rank Up Magic launch, overlaying the Big Eye into Kali Yuga, and thus ending his turn. I believe he just straight up scoops after this, if I'm not mistaken. Alright, moving into game number 3. He starts off, and it looks like he drew quite a big of a brick. Uses the Maju to search for Dawn of the Herald, but he cannot summon Herald of Perfection because Dawn of the Herald has to equal exactly 6 levels, if you can count right here, whose levels total exactly 6, which is really unfortunate. For me, I prefer to side out the Kali Yuga engine going second, but we can go ahead and use everything into, in this case I just make Utopia double and overlay on top with activate double or nothing or whatever, search for Utopia, go into the battle phase, attack, negate my own attack, activate double or nothing, and attack for 8,600 damage, thus winning the game. Absolutely crazy. Alright, moving on into our last game. This is the longest one and probably the best one, so I saved it for last. I did make some mistakes during this, but we are playing against heroes. So he is going first, and I believe I'm just going to fast forward through it because they're just generic hero plays, you know, like Ferris said increase, and then he searches for Plasma, and then off of Shadow Mist, and then he uses the increase to send Mally, and then from here, like, it's just a lot of, like, generic stuff. For some reason, it's not fast-forwarding through. Oh, I think he keeps, looking for something. Let me see if I can just fast-forward a bit. It does take him a while for some reason. Oh, I think the replay broke, actually, for some reason. Let me retry that again. I'm not sure why that happened. The replay just decided not to work. Okay, let's try this one more time. So, yeah, just generic plays. He's gonna Shadow Mist, search Ferris, discard, and then Shadow Mist, add. He mistakenly adds Liquid Soldier, but he actually means to add Plasma. And then he can go into increase, special Vion, send the Malicious, banish the Varus or Poly, Mali, and then summon the Cross Crusader, search for Liquid Soldier, make the Sunrise, search, draw 2, discard 1, and then add the Honesty Neos, summon Plasma and Darklaw, and there's nothing I can do. Plasma, Darklaw, everything's banished, all of those cards in the field are negated, and I can't do anything against the skill drain deck, unfortunately. Anyways, so it looks like I drew Tenki. I don't know why I put that in the graveyard. It should be on the field. I don't know what I was thinking. Anyways, Kaleido sends Lamar, activate Tiger, and I believe I do have full combo here, but I did mess up my plays, because I go into the Forstrix, and instead of detaching the Martin, I actually just detached the Kaleido chick, which is the mistake I made. Then I search the Zephyros off of it, and I make a bigger mistake here by using Luna the Dark Spirit, banishing Kaleido chick to summon it. So this should be a different card in my later builds, but for right now that's what it is. And yeah, it was honestly not the right play, because now I can't make Curious because I have 2 Winged Beasts, and I can't do anything else because there's no way for me to get a Lunalight on the field. So I can make Barricade Board Blocker here and summon this back and then make the Curious, but I still have no way to make a rank 4, which I realized after the fact. It would have been cool if I milled a Lunalight, like a level 4 Lunalight off of this, but I mean, that's asking for a lot. So I could Tiger summon back Tiger, which is kind of interesting, and then make Appaloosa. So what I should have done here is I should have banished the Boots to search out the Trap card, because then I could make Dweller. I mean, that's like the best option that I can do here, so I would have a Dweller and Appaloosa. Then he would have a fairly hard time dealing with my board, but he does Kaiju my Appaloosa. And then from here, it's just like hero combo, and then you can just Ferris set the increase, search Liquid Soldier, and then Mali, and you know, Bion, search Poly, Fusion Destiny, you know the drill, send the Mali, then Dystopia, turn everything into the Cross Crusader, make the Dread Destinator, and make Trinity, and from there he can attack my board. I'm going to take damage, my Martin gets banished, and then Dystopia attacks for 33, and then the last guy attacks for 33. So we do happen to have a rematch game because he did 2-0 me. And so game 1 he let me go first because that's a nice thing to do, I guess. So I'm gonna kind of speed through the combos here, but pretty much I just make Barricade Board Blocker to discard the Zephyros because I have no way to discard it normally, I believe, or no way to make the Curious. Sure. And then we just make the Utopia Kaiser beforehand. And then we can go ahead and then turn that into an Appaloosa before we make the before we use Utopia Kaiser's effect, so we're not locked out of special summoning. Make the big eye, set a card, pass. Eat normal Stratos, and it gets met with Kali Yuga. And then from here, he actually can live a little bit longer than normal, because so end phase I Kali Yuga and then destroy all the spell and trap cards. And then on my turn, I bring stuff back, and I really should have gone for Utopia here, but I did go for Tornado Dragon. I shouldn't have played into the Honesty Neos, but this guy is 5,000 attack points, so right now I'm attacking for 3,200, which is crazy. But so he could Honesty Neos here and take like 700 damage instead, and I'm not able to actually kill him here, I believe. I believe I'm really close, though. Sorry about that. So he does use the Dynatag to block some damage, and then I attack with the Tornado Dragon, and then I use the Tornado Dragon on my Tiger. And then Tiger's effect is going to summon Kaleido, and I'm going to attack for another 14. And he might actually be able to kill me here. I can't remember if I win this game or not. It looks like he's going to go into Trinity. Yeah, so he actually did win the game. Due to my mistake, mostly because I could have made Utopia and then just hit him really hard with it. I also probably could have extended even harder. I believe my hand was good enough I could have made Boral Sword, which is probably better. And as you can see here in a minute, this is my opening hand, and he's going to have a hard time playing through it this time. So I'm going to Grepher discard the Kaleido Chick, which is a little odd. But then eBird's going to summon the Kaleido Chick. Like, this hand's very, very weird, but I can play through it. Then I'm going to Sukunoko. Looks like he's going to hit Called by the Grave. And I drew the best card in the deck I could have in this case, Lunalight Tiger. I don't think I needed it, because I believe that if I went into the Curious play, I did have 5 monsters in graveyard after... Here, let's see what I said on the boots, right? Okay, so after I send the boots, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I did have a target for Avarice. So, I mean, I could have possibly made a rank 4. Plus, I did have the Perfume in the graveyard. So, I mean, it's possible I could have actually, like, it doesn't really matter in the long run because my Curious Mills were good enough because I did mill the Perfume. So no matter what I drew, I could just Perfume, discard it, and then add the Tiger to hand anyways. So I had a way to get to Tiger all along, so it really didn't matter. Then I use everything to Appaloosa, make the Utopia double. You know the drill at this point. We add double or nothing, and then make Kaiser. At this point, we're good to just go ahead and use Kaiser's effect to summon our Big Eye. We're going to go ahead and activate Pot of Avarice. So the reason I did shuffle back the Utopia double here is because I do play 2 copies of Double or Nothing, meaning on my next turn I can summon it again and search the last copy. So we do add 5 cards back, shuffle the deck, draw 2 cards. We did draw the second Double or Nothing, which is really, really bad. He activates Dark Ruler no more, which we chain the rank up launch. Summoning Kali Yuga, chain resolves backwards. So the rank up magic summons Kali Yuga. Kali Yuga's effect applies immediately when it is summoned, negating this, and the Dark Ruler no more. And then Dark Ruler is negated, so it resolves without effect. Then he activates Fusion Destiny, but he realizes he actually can't because of Kali Yuga. So he can use Ferris's effect in hand, and then Shadow Mist can search. And then he can use the Ferris to attack over the Appaloosa, which is what he does here in a second. And I do happen to take 1600 points of damage because Appaloosa is negated. Then on my turn, I draw the Kaleido Chick. I normal summon it, send Martin, and then I use Tiger to summon back the Martin, link them off into a generic link to Barricade Board Blocker. It works great here. Then Martin's effect adds back Tiger, Tiger specials Kaleido, and then we make a Boral Sword, I believe. Or no, we do make 4 Strix actually here, because we do have the Perfume engrave, so we can extend further, because we can search the Zephyros. We can use the Perfume, discarding the Zephyros, add the Tiger, and then we can use the Zephyros, paying 400, actually taking 400 damage, actually. Returning the Tiger to hand, making a Boral Sword, and then activating Tiger to summon Kaleido, and then the other Tiger to summon the Martin, and overlaying into anything. I was going to overlay into Utopia there because I did have 2 copies of Double or Nothing in my hand. So, now going, we're playing into this board. I'm going to fast forward through it once again. So he actually did draw 2 copies of Increase, which is probably the worst thing ever. So he Violent, Shadow Mist, discard, you know. He's going to search Miracle Fusion off of Sunrise, discard, and then special Malleys, and then he's going to use the Cross Crusader to special, or to, Cross Crusader to special back the Malley Tribute, add Plasma. Pretty much. Okay, anyways. Then he's going to Tribute 3 for Plasma. So unfortunately, this is the best board he has. I was trying to think if there was a way for me to make Tornado Dragon, kill it, and then make Kali Yuga. But then I remembered that I actually did side out the Kali Yuga combo. Because there's no reason for me to really use it going second. So I used Dark Ruler no more. And then from here, he's going to take no damage for the rest of the turn. So basically, my point is to make a board for the next turn that he can't do anything with. So from here, I just use Mothman. He hits Mothman here, which is crazy. It was 1 out of 5 cards, and he ended up actually hitting it. But that's okay. We can use the Serenade Dance to summon Kaleido. You know, And then we use everything into an Appaloosa with 4 negates. And then we also have a Dweller, so we can use the Appaloosa attack over Plasma, so that it's gone out of the way for the next turn. And our Appaloosa will be at 3,200 attack, which is pretty solid. He takes no damage from Dark Ruler no more, we fixed that. He ends up using his Kaiju on my Appaloosa. And then from here, he benches for Shining, which is a really odd choice here. I think if he went for Trinity, it would have been way better, because he could have hit me for a lot more damage. I think it would have been 33 and 22, so 55, and I think I would have been at like 2100 damage. But instead, he just uses the Shining, which is at 3500 due to its own effect, to attack over the Dweller, which is like fair. You know, Dweller's really good. So then I normal summon Kaleido. Tiger summons back Kaleido. Martin adds back the Tiger to hand. I scale Tiger again, summoning back E-Bird, and then we link everything off into a Boral Sword. He acted like he had like a response here. He does. He does have the Nibiru in hand. But I'm not playing 2 copies of Appaloosa, and I don't think he expected me to play 2 copies of Appaloosa. So I ended up just banishing everything for Boral Sword. And at the end of the main phase, I get hit with the Nibiru. So we ended up calculating the attack of this Nibiru. It should show up in a second. Yeah, so the attack of the Nibiru is 8,400 attack and 4,600 defense. So it's pretty much really hard for him to out it. He ends up drawing the Malicious that he had in his hand, which is probably the worst draw. I think it is the worst draw he could have ever drawn, which is really unfortunate. He ended up drawing double increase for his hand and then top decking Malicious later in the turn, which is literally the last copy of the Malicious left in his deck, which is the worst, you know. So he ends up showing me his hand, saying, "Hey, I can't do anything." You know, like I had nothing. He did have Honestinios in hand. At the next turn, I think I would have just, you know, did the normal play. I did have a Martin hand, so I probably would have made like Tornado Dragon or something, plus this token. And the token would do, let's see, what is this? It's 8,400, so 5,400 points of damage, which leaves him down to 26. Tornado Dragon attacks directly after that, leaving him with 500. And then Tornado Dragon targets my own Tiger, popping it to not search, but special summon the Kaleido that is in the graveyard. And that would have been more than enough to attack for game. Anyways, this is kind of a longer video, but I hope you guys enjoyed. A little bit more of I try to make it a little bit more of a fast-paced video. If you guys do like this, I would appreciate it. Sorry, the setup's a little bit weird right now. I hope you guys actually kind of like it, like the card on the left, the left side, and then the text on the right and the life points at the bottom. I don't know, maybe it's just better for me to actually just use the actual, like, dueling pick setup. I'm not too sure. I want to hear some feedback from you guys. There's supposed to be these like 3 little dots or whatever above the life points. It's supposed to show the match, but I haven't really implemented that quite yet. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Regardless, it was a lot of fun for me to play this game, and I think I might play a different deck in the next, the next episode if we ended up continuing this. But yeah, we currently have, I believe, like, here, let me check actually real quick. This is going to look really odd. 195 rating, if you can see that on the screen right now, which is pretty cool. Nearly 200. And so we're about 1/10, or I guess like 1/9 of the way there. I don't know exactly how to add that. But, you know the drill. Anyways, it was fun. And I will see you guys in the next episode. See you.